Thank you for checking out this complete broadcast from the Wrestling Epicenter archives. If you like what you hear, please hit the like button and the notifications bell. Also, consider subscribing. It really helps. And now, without any further ado, welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Interactive Interview on the interactiveinterview.com, courtesy of ProWrestling.com. We know that we promised you the anniversary show to be the next interview, but something arose over the past couple weeks that we thought might be a little bit more topical and to the point than our anniversary show will be. So, Dan, would you like to explain exactly what's going on and with the whole debacle involving Rob Feinstein and his parent company, Ring of Honor?
Yes, indeed. Of course, this came up last Wednesday. It became apparent. So basically, if you haven't heard a lot about this, I direct you to 3starwrestling.com newsboard, where you can find out and read all the information about why Rob Feinstein has now resigned from his role in RF Video, which is apparently soon to be renamed, and Ring of Honor, the company just coming up to celebrate its second year as a promotion. Obviously, Mr. Feinstein basically was caught out by a website entitled perverted-justice.com, which has the slogan, exposing wannabe perverts on the net. In association with NBC News in Philly, basically Rob was featured as one of three people on a 11 o'clock special about pedophiles and the internet. Also, on the Perverted Justice website is an extremely long AOL conversation that Rob had with a 14-year-old. This 14-year-old, of course, was not actually a 14-year-old, but was a
plant, basically.
Exactly. Placed by pervertedjustice.com, basically playing the role of a 14-year-old.
Right.
This 14-year-old went into an AOL chat room and just said their age, location, and gender, which was 14, Philly, and male. And then Rob actively started a conversation with this 14-year-old in instant message, and basically just said, like, I'll read you the first few lines. The first two lines were, "Hey, what's up? You're hot." Were the first two lines.
That's what Rob said, or?
That's what Rob said, yeah. Because, of course, obviously you see pictures of the kid or whatever, but then he goes on to show the kid his picture, explain how he's a wrestler for Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, is what he told him. A 22-year-old wrestler for Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, which of course isn't true. He's got no affiliation to PWG at all.
And he's not exactly 22 either. What is he, about 30-something?
I've heard two reports that he's either 28 or 30 plus, is what I've heard. Of course, he's not a wrestler either. He's the owner of R8s and stuff, which is, either better or worse, depending on who you're trying to impress.
Mm-hmm.
Then goes on to say, at one point there was a great quote in the thing. It said the 14-year-old says to Rob, "Yeah, but that's older than me." When he just said he was 23, he said, "Yeah, that's older than me. You can drive and drink. I'm 14. No one ever wants to see me because they say I'm jailbait and I can't meet guys my own age because they might tell guys at school." Rob then responds with, "Damn, 14. I'll pretend you said 18.
How busted is he? He's
busted and a half because he's now stepped down from his position as chairman and whatnot in Ring of Honor. And a lot of people have a lot of opinions on it, so at request of not only people on AOL and such, but the ProWrestling.com forums have all requested...
Which I've completely neglected as of late. I have to get back on there.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. It's much more active over there now, which is a good thing. But basically, because people wanted it, we've giving you this show next, as it's nice and topical, as James said, explaining with three guests on the show. We've got Gabe Sapolsky. He's the Ring of Honor booker,
and also what I thought always was Rob's best friend.
Exactly, he's one of Rob's good friends.
Right.
He's the first that's coming up next. I hope to get his thoughts on things such as the situation, his friendship with Rob, where Ring of Honor's going, etc. And of course, we'll give everybody some information on the upcoming second anniversary show,
Mm-hmm.
as well as hopefully getting his comments on Loki's denouncement of Ring of Honor since the Feinstein situation. We then have a good interview with Bob Barnett, who's, of course, Vampiro's agent and lawyer, and a tape trader over at bobbarnett.com. He's obviously been involved in the business for a long time, with a very steady mind. Has a bit of a problem with Rob, which he obviously will hopefully explain.
And then we have one of my favorite guests, Missy Hyatt.
Yeah, she's back on the show. Of course, she made the somewhat controversial comments about Rob last time she was on the show, and so we've invited her back, and she gives a better explanation.
The funny thing was, as soon as we started talking, I just said hello, and it almost started, instantly. And she was just like, oh my god, you hear about Rob Feinstein? It was almost instant. It was hysterical, in my opinion.
It was. And she seems legitimately really, really happy about this situation. So.
Yeah, she said she bawled on the floor for about 15 minutes after she had heard the phone call. Either that I gave or whoever somebody else gave.
Yeah, exactly.
But to take care of some legal things right now, the views and opinions expressed in this edition of the Interactive Interview do not necessarily match those of James and Dan, the hosts. Our opinions will be expressed in the recap segment of this interview at the end of Missy Hyatt.
I believe you mean, of course, after the Missy Hyatt interview, as opposed to on Missy Hyatt's end, please.
I'd like to be on Missy Hyatt's end, though.
I'm sure you would. And we can tell her that. Yeah, I'm sure you will, but... Okay, well, this is obviously the Ring of Honor Rob Feinstein special on the Interactive Interview. Coming next is Gabe Sapolsky.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Interactive Interview. We're here today with Gabe. Gabe, how you doing?
I've seen better days.
Yeah, we've heard. Well, it seems you guys have something going on this weekend, so would you mind giving us a little rundown on what we can expect?
Well, we're real excited about this weekend. We have a huge day in Elizabeth, New Jersey at the Rexplex, which is right outside of New York City by the Newark Airport. We have 2 shows in one day. We also have an autograph signing with Roddy Piper, and a meet and greet with Roddy Piper, where it's a question and answer, and you can pretty much ask him any question that you want, and he will answer it for you. But in the afternoon, we have Do or Die 2. It's only $5. It's a lot of the great upcoming talent around the country. They're all coming in. They're all getting a chance to prove themselves. And at night, we have just an unbelievable show that's going to tear the house down.
Could you give us any card matches that you have scheduled already?
Yeah, on the night show we have the Scramble Cage 2, which is where we put platforms on top of the steel cage in the corner so guys can do crazy moves off of the top of them.
Yep.
And that's the Carnage Crew against Special K, and they've really been feuding since last April, so this is the blow-off to that feud. We have Samoa Joe against Jay Briscoe inside of a steel cage, which is a blow-off of a feud that's been happening. Started that tradition continues, which was October 16th, so we're going to see the final chapter of that one. We have AJ Styles against CM Punk for our new Pure title, which is going to be huge. Colt Cabana and Ace Steel against the Prophecy, BJ Whitmer and Dan Moff, which is going to be a big grudge match. We got a 6-man mayhem match. Basically, the rules are 2 in the ring at a time. But when somebody leaves the ring, somebody else can just come in, no tags needed, and one fall wins it, so that provides the most insane action you'll ever see. And we have a few other things going on, too.
Excellent.
Of course, is it this event that Teddy Hart will be making his return to?
Yep, Teddy Hart is in the 6-man mayhem match, so it should be very interesting to see what he does.
Are you guys worried about the locker room reaction to Teddy?
Well, the locker room reaction wasn't good to Teddy, but they have since been distracted by other mains. So the Teddy thing is really a big deal right now.
Okay.
So maybe it's been overshadowed slightly by obviously the past week's events. The Teddy heat is basically nothing compared to what's happened in the last week, but we're all trying our hardest to get through it, and we're not giving up the fight, and we know that we have a tough road ahead of us. But and we're not giving up. We've all put too much in this company right now to give up because of something that had nothing to do with Ring of Honor, and the individual involved is no longer with Ring of Honor anymore in any way, shape, or form, or our video for that matter. Of course, the incident you're talking about is the Rob Feinstein NBC incident, but people can obviously find out a lot about that on the internet. But of everything that's been reported and such, what do you feel has been the overall? Are you pleased or disappointed? So should I say about the coverage and the progression and the how the media have basically handled the situation?
Well, I mean, it's just a terrible situation, and there's nothing pleasing or good that can come out of it. So we're just handling it the best that we can right now. Rob is no longer with either Ring of Honor or RF Video. We got the legal papers today. We're going to make them public this week, so people will see that he is indeed gone from both companies and not benefiting from either company or any way, shape, or form. And people just have to be assured that none of their money is going to him. And if they are, I believe that they'll come back and support us. But it's just a matter of people understanding that he is no longer associated or benefiting from either company anymore.
Are you still friends?
Well, obviously the friendship has been strained, so I don't know. I mean, I haven't talked to him in a few days, so I don't know.
How did you actually find out about the whole situation?
He called me Wednesday morning, about a half an hour before I was even supposed to wake up, and he just told me to come right into the office. He said he had something to tell me. I asked him what. He said I can't discuss it over the phone, just come into the office. So I basically jumped out of bed, hopped in my car. I knew no one died because he would have told me that over the phone, and I knew it was really bad, and I knew nothing would ever be the same, and I got to the office, and he basically told me what happened.
What do you say to people that I mean, 'cause obviously you say you got the legal papers through, but what do you say to people that are still just calling Rob stepping down a smokescreen?
I want them to know what we have to do, I mean, I think the greatest proof, more than legal papers, more than anything else, is the fact that both companies still exist. If Rob was benefiting from either company, our locker room would walk out. All of our wrestlers would leave. Our office would leave. There would be no companies. No one is going to work for him or work to benefit him anymore. So as long as we're still here trying to make ROH successful, you know that Rob is not involved.
Has there been any concern from the wrestlers?
Just concern that they don't want him involved. This thing has hurt so many people in so many different ways. It's absolutely mind-blowing and astronomical, and it's impossible to realize how many people something like this has hurt, and how many different ways they have been hurt and angry and everything else until you experience something like this.
Obviously, Loki's come out on his website and obviously distanced himself from the promotion. I know that
Loki wasn't even booked on anything coming up, so I don't know why he did that.
You feel it just maybe trying to jump on the situation, given the maybe not fruitful relationship that is already standing between the two parties.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why Loki would do that, because he wasn't even booked on any other shows. So I don't know. I mean, a lot of the guys have come out, and Samoa Joe, Chris Daniels, CM Punk, Dan Moff, Loke. I mean, they've come right out and said we believe in this project. We've given a lot to Ring of Honor. We're not about to give up on it, but we don't want Rob involved at all. And if he is, we're not gonna be around. So it doesn't get any more final than that.
One thing that was brought up on a couple of message boards that I posted, that was basically that when Rob put his notice up about stepping down, he kind of worded it in a way sort of saying, these allegations are against me now, but I might be back, that sort of...
Yeah, well, I mean, the wording on our first two statements, I'll be the first to admit, was not good. We were just so shell-shocked and so, worn down and beat down, and I don't even know, there's no words to really describe how you're feeling in that situation. So we just did the best we could with our mind frame and everything to get those statements out. And looking back, they definitely were not the best worded statements.
Given, of course, that Rob is no longer affiliated and associated with anything, what major changes that people will see along the lines? What sort of things will actually have to change? Will your role change?
I'm sure all of our roles are going to change. We're reorganizing the whole company right now, so that process doesn't happen overnight. The one thing, though, that people should not be concerned about is, number one, Rob had people in place running these businesses for him, so everyone's still in place running those businesses. It's just that, now Rob's not the boss anymore. So it's not like Rob filled a job that can't be replaced with either company. And the other thing, too, is that Rob actually has not been majority owner of Ring of Honor for a while now. In fact, most of the funding and all the funding has been coming from somewhere else for the past year or so. So it's not like ROH has just lost its financial backer either. So, removing him from the equation is something that, we'll be able to keep going with just some reorganization. But, obviously this is a public relations nightmare.
Do you think
that's where it's going to hurt us.
Do you feel losing Rob will at all be a detriment, though?
No.
No?
Final thing from me. What do you say to the fans that may perhaps not be may boycott shows or boycott buying videos or something because of Rob's former involvement with the company and may have tainted their their views? What do you say to them about the future and stuff?
I mean, I understand their concerns completely. I understand they do not want any of their money going to him, and I can assure them we'll have the legal documents that it's not, that they are not supporting him when they support Ring of Honor, that when you support Ring of Honor, you're supporting the guys who are bumping in the ring and who have given a lot to this company and who love working here and who have made sacrifices to make this company successful. And that's who you're supporting when you're supporting ROH. You don't have to be worried about your money going to other places, because basically Ring of Honor has been a company that's been lucky to break even, and it's not a company that's raking in on the money, and we can't afford to take a hit on business, and if we do, there won't be any more Ring of Honor, and they can just be assured that Rob's not involved anymore or benefiting in any way. And the proof of that, besides the legal documents, is the fact that we're still all here trying to make Ring of Honor successful. And as long as we're here trying to make Ring of Honor successful, that's who you're supporting. And if you're supporting anyone else, we wouldn't be here right now.
Excellent, excellent. We really can't thank you enough for coming on the show and discussing this issue. I know it's something you probably have talked about a lot in the past, and you're probably getting a little tired of talking about it.
Well, I mean, I understand the importance. People want to know what's going on, and I understand the importance in staying very visible right now, so it was my pleasure, and thank you for giving me the forum to explain all this.
Oh, you're very welcome. And welcome back to the Interactive Interview. We're joined here with Bob Barnett. Bob, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
Pretty good. It's lovely to have you on the show. Basically, we're doing a show currently about the situation regarding Ring of Honor and Rob Feinstein, and we've read your article on the internet, and basically we just thought it would be a good idea to have you on the show to discuss your thoughts of what's going on and, maybe give us some insight on exactly what is going on.
Well, I don't know what's going on, but what I think is going on is there's just two guys that have no other job skills trying to cover up for another guy that's got no job skills, keep their business going.
And who would those two guys be?
Little Dougie and little Gabe.
I read your first of all, are you the person who broke the story to me in a sense? Because I read your post on the UKFF and obviously read the whole perverted justice article and such, and so that's one of the main reasons I wanted to get you on the show, was just to, obviously for that reason. And then I read your column on Pro Wrestling Between the Sheets, basically outlining.
Yeah, well, the one that's on Pro Wrestling Between the Sheets isn't exactly the way I wrote it. There's a few words taken out. I've got it up on my pain in the ass board that you can access through my website. And Bob McGee, who's the editor over there, who thinks he's a journalist, chopped off a bunch of my words. Seems to be offended by the word homosexual, even though it's been proven that Feinstein is one now.
Right. We had funny story is we had Missy Hyatt on the show, and she kept calling him a fag, and oddly enough, Rob Feinstein emailed us denying the charges, saying that he wasn't a fag, that he just couldn't get it up for Missy because she was so, I think his exact words were, loose. And I guess we can know who's...
He's always loose unless he can put it in. Listen, Rob Feinstein has been a big homo since I first met him in '94. I saw him at the Howard Johnson's at the Philadelphia airport. I don't even know if it's the Howard Johnson's anymore. Right after an ECW show, when everybody was drunk, and there was a very famous main event tag team in ECW that walked right up to him as a joke as he was coming out of the bathroom and gave him a big kiss on the lips, and he really looked like he enjoyed it, and I was just staring at him like, I don't even believe what I just saw. So, there's no secret. I knew what bar he was going to years ago. I used to tell him that. He used to get furious. He made a couple phone calls to my house that are posted up on my website. Doug knew about it because Doug lived with him. Doug lived in the same room with him. Gabe, I'm sure, has known about it. Gabe's been around him for years. There's no secrets there. I mean, Rob's been pretty outrageous that if I could find out 2,200 miles away, they certainly knew what he was doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, of course, people who read the article, well, either on your site, which can be accessed through bobbarnett.com, is that correct?
Yeah.
Either on your site or on the PWBTS.
Yeah.
Obviously know the story about why you dislike Rob so much. But for those that haven't been previous to the information and haven't read the articles, can you kind of just give us a bit of background on the real reason?
I was back in New Jersey and Pennsylvania back in November '94 when I was filming Hardcore Overload, and I had shot the When Worlds Collide show and did an interview with Art Barr there, and then I flew back east to finish shooting. And that Saturday morning of the ECW show, Corluzzo was throwing a fanfare at a gym in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, right across from the racetrack, which I don't even know is there anymore. And that's when I met Feinstein, somebody introducing me to him, and he was standing there with his dad, acting like his you-know-what didn't stink. And when I looked down on the table, there was my Eddie Gilbert interview that I had copyrighted, unlike most of Feinstein's tapes, which aren't copyrighted. I had copyrighted that back in '94, and I looked at it, and there it was, and he claimed he'd stopped selling it, and of course he never stopped selling it. And then about a few months later, when I told him I was going to sue him, he made me a deal that he would send me all the ECW tapes he had, you know, as they came out, all the commercial tapes and everything. This was years ago. And he sent me 4 of them, and then they all stunk. I mean, they were barely watchable. They were recorded on cheap tapes. You know, the usual Feinstein garbage then, no labels. I didn't even know what he was sending me. And then he stopped sending them. So I simply told him that I was going to make his life a living hell. I was going to out him every chance I could, and I was going to make sure that his tape business, you know, that I took as much business away from his tape business as I possibly could. And that's where it's been all these years, and, you know, he keeps pulling stunts, and he goes on board. Well, he goes, actually, if you read what's Eric Giulio's post that he put up, it pretty much explains Rob's conduct about, you know, trolling and phony names and, you know, just ripping people and threatening. But the biggest thing about Feinstein was he got a guy thrown in jail a few months ago. He went after a guy for selling Ring of Honor tapes, which is, of course, the same way Feinstein made his money from selling tapes and selling other people's tapes. And instead of suing the guy in civil court and and actually having some balls to back up his threats, he ratted him out to the FBI, and the guy got sent to jail. The guy's name was Mike King. He's either going in jail or just went into jail. So, you know, I always knew Feinstein would get his comeuppance, but I didn't know he was going to do it to himself. I mean, I always thought somebody was going to get him, but that picture of him the day he showed up at the front door of that house last week was just, I think, the greatest photo I've ever seen in my life.
Mike King, did he own Wrestle Tapes, was it, or
something like that? I don't know what the name of his company was. I mean, it was just him and a pile of VCRs. All these company names are so bogus. I mean,
because I knew
VCRs. I mean, that's all I am. I got, you know, stacks of equipment.
So, that's pretty much what I do too.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing Rob can't get me now, though.
No, Rob, listen, they got enough problems, and plus the problem was with Mike King getting thrown in jail. The only copyright I could even find in the Library of Congress database was the Sean Waltman interview. Everything else wasn't legally copyrighted, and if King had been able to afford or gotten a criminal attorney, which I told him to, he would have gotten the charges thrown out because there was actually no actual notice of the copyrights, and, you know, there would have been a real problem there, but I don't know, I guess the guy just bent over and took it, so, but anyway, Feinstein's through. I mean, I don't think we'll ever see him around wrestling at all anymore, because there's no way he can go out in public. The best part about the whole thing is that he's busted right in his hometown, on television. Even his neighbors know that he's a little kid. He's a kitty diddler now, and he couldn't even get a job at the local McDonald's if he tried.
Well, of course, basically, Ring of Honor have obviously come out and posted the article saying that he's obviously no longer with the company for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And Gabe's also come out and done an interview on PWI just saying that, you know, obviously he's not with the company anymore. There is someone else being, you know, because Doug's been appointed as the new chairman or whatever. And,
you know, all these corporate little things that somebody's telling them, saying everything's so cute. The whole company was the one or two money marks behind Rob. One guy's a ticket broker from Easton, Pennsylvania, named Kerry Silkin. But the whole company is basically Rob, Gabe, and Doug.
Right.
So, okay, so now it's Doug and Gabe, but, big deal. I mean, who cares? They knew what he was doing. I'll bet the house they knew what he was doing. How could I know what he was doing and they didn't know what he was doing? I'm 2,200 miles away. I haven't even seen the guy in person in 10 years, and I knew what he was doing.
There was a story a long time ago, and for those who saw the Vampiro shoot interview, he pretty much told it.
Yeah.
By the
way, Vamp is going to Puerto Rico on Wednesday, and he had a custom shirt made in honor of Feinstein. The back of the T-shirt will have the entire AIM conversation where perverted justice lured Feinstein in, and the front will have the photograph of when Feinstein shows up at the front door with that dumb look on his face just before he realizes his life is over. So he'll be wearing that at IWA. I don't know what Quinones is going to say.
You guys should market those. Those would be hysterical.
Yeah. Oh, I think it would be a big seller right now. They ought to sell it at Ring of Honor if they had the balls. If they really had the balls, they'd let me do a shoot interview with Feinstein right now.
Well, what are you willing to share about the story about the whole Japan and whatever tapes?
Well, I always said that, I found it odd that after Feinstein went over to Japan and was hanging out with Victor Quinones, who's another, homosexual predator, that all of a sudden he came back with the IWA and FMW tapes and was claiming he was the exclusive dealer for them. Of course, nobody ever, threatened to sue at that point, so I was pretty sure he didn't have anything in writing, but, it's a little odd that he went over and was hanging around with Quinones, who's really the same kind of guy, he is. And, I mean, you don't need 2 and 2 to figure that one out.
Wow.
Well, of course, we really appreciate you coming on the show. BobBarnett.com for anybody who wants to find out more information, not only about you, but about Vampiro and tapes, and of course, read the conversation, the article that you posted on your forums, which of course is available by clicking the link right at the bottom of the page. Is that right?
And I'll be doing another interview with Vampiro at the end of April in Tijuana next time I see him, and we're really that's going to be the last interview. I mean, there won't be anything to say after that one.
Where can you find that out? Where can people buy that or hear that?
It'll be on my site in early May. I'm going to go down to Tijuana and do some shooting.
Excellent. That'll be hysterical. And if you ever need anybody to promote your stuff, you know how to reach us, right?
I think so.
Excellent.
Just send me an email, okay.
All right, thanks a lot, and stay tuned for more from the Interactive Interview. Welcome back to the Interactive Interview, the Rob Feinstein edition. We're here with Missy Hyatt. Missy, how you doing?
I'm doing great. You know what? Ever since I found out that Rob was chased by the police and caught for doing his naughty, you know what? I've been in a great mood.
Oh, excellent.
I mean, I haven't had a giggle like this in, I bet, 10 years or something.
Well, before we got on the line, you started telling us a story about how you found out. Would you mind sharing that with us?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, see, I always accused him of being gay, and I would say it to his face and stuff, because one night, we did a shoot interview, and then after the fact, I saw him at a wrestling show, and then Tommy Dreamer kind of hooked us up, and I went back to his house, and I made him turn up the heat, because it was kind of cold in his pool, because he had a heated pool, and I remember saying, man, this is a nice house. I go, boy, you got this from ripping off wrestling, huh? He's like, I pay,
my dues.
Royalties to everyone. Okay, yeah, right, whatever. So then I proceeded just to see how far I could go with him, because before I got in the pool, he showed me a scrapbook. It had pictures of him and me from autograph sessions from probably 1986 and up. When he was 13, 12, 11. And and I'm talking about autograph sessions and Polaroids that he got when I walked out of the building that I don't even remember. And we're talking, there was at least 30 Polaroids in there.
Wow.
Of when he met me, and he had them all dated and stuff. And a couple I had signed that I guess he went to one of those, autograph sessions. But he looked like a kid. Anyway, so I'd get in his pool, and so I'm thinking to myself, oh, he's loved me for a long time. I'm going to have fun with this. I'm going to make him big stuff. So I get in his pool, I get naked. I am swimming in his pool naked. The lights are on, music's on, the pool's getting heated. I try to get in to come in the pool, and I don't want to come in the pool. So then when I decided to get up, I just got right up and I go, can you give me a towel? Why not better just put the towel around me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm like, okay, well, where are we going to go sleep? He goes, oh, we can go upstairs, you know, and he takes me upstairs, and I'm like, whose room is that? He goes, oh, that's my roommate over there, right?
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh, okay. And so we get in his bed, and, you know, we started kissing and stuff, and then, you know, went a little further, and I'm like trying to find out why. Because usually, I mean, like, Jim Kelly of the Bills, I just start kissing him, and he has an accident in his pants, you know? So I'm wondering why this mark for me from, like, for, 10, 12, 15 years is limp.
Huh.
And he doesn't drink. He didn't do anything that night. I mean, couldn't blame it on alcohol.
And he wasn't on any cough syrup?
Huh?
And he wasn't drinking any cough syrup?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Nothing like that. And, you know, I was going to blow him, but after the limp thing, I was thinking to myself, the way he acted, I was thinking he was probably gay. So I said, listen, you got to get a condom, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you got to get it hard, get a condom. Come on, I want you, baby. Come on, God, Rob. God, I mean, I was really working it up.
Mm-hmm.
So then he pulls out, the only condom he had in his drawer was some, like, gimmick condom that's black. And I guess it was, like, supposed to be an extra large. He kept trying to put it on when he got a semi-hard on, and it kept falling off his penis. So basically, we ended up not having sex at all. I woke up the next day and he took me to the train station. So after that, you know, I told a couple of people the stories, and then me and Christy Miss. So then he started fooling around with Christy Miss, the porn star.
Right.
And that made me, I'm like, thank God I never screwed him, right?
Right.
Then she's the one that told me there was something weird that him and his roommate acted like a husband and wife the way they talked to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me the reason why they broke up is because Christy was into doing a lot of cocaine and stuff like that. So I don't know if they ever screwed around either. Or I don't know, maybe they did a three-way. Who knows? You know, Christy, I don't really ask about what she does, not on film, but in her personal life, because it's just about the same. So I kept calling him when he did that little gimmick with the wings,
Right.
you know, like the fairy gimmick. I was like, that is so perfect for you because you're gay. You know, and I'd call him gay boy all the time. And then he would call me up when he'd see my niece, Michelle, working at a show.
Uh-huh.
And you'd leave messages like, oh, I'm going to get your niece. She's so beautiful. I'm making out with her right now. And then it'd really make me upset because I'm thinking, Michelle, don't kiss a fag. You know?
Right.
I mean, not that you can get AIDS from kissing a fag, but you don't know if he just got done sucking somebody's private part.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yes.
You know, and she doesn't want to get snowballed.
Uh-oh.
So, you know. I mean, hey, he goes in the bathroom, he finds a little 12-year-old wrestling fan. Who knows? I don't know, you know?
He offers some tapes?
What?
He offers some tapes in exchange for
Right, for an exchange for tapes.
Right.
I mean, you know, let me have some, baby. Anyway, so they did that to me a couple times until I called him and threatened him. And then when I went on, like, I did a couple radio shows, and I just talked about the black condom and how he couldn't get it up.
Right.
So then he kept, I mean, we're talking, I only did that one time, and he went on at least 12 different internet shows saying how I was the best, how I was the worst sex he ever had in his life. First off, I was probably the only woman he ever came close to having sex with, and he probably doesn't even know what having sex with what a woman's like, even though he showed me a couple pornos of him doing this one Chinese girl from behind. But she wasn't putting him over. She had her glasses on. She was just kind of like, So I think maybe that was a hooker. I don't know. And he showed me another tape of another girl, and while he's doing her from behind, he's in the camera doing thumbs up and a gimmick thing. I think that was like maybe it's like the first girl he slept with, so he was like high-fiving himself, thinking that, I finally did it! I finally did it! But you know why they were doing it from behind? Because that's probably the way he likes it, you know? If you think about it.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, you know, that's my story of Rob. So he went on all these radio shows saying how, you know, I was the best I was the worst sex he ever had when he didn't even have sex with me, and I thought that was quite funny. So
when he read the transcript of our show and he ended up listening to it, he told us we never actually had him on the show, but he emailed us saying, what she said is a lie. It's all a lie. I mean, it was.
Yeah, that's what he's telling everybody. It's a total lie. It's a total. After when we were doing something, and me and Christy were doing something for Vixens, and we were talking about the black condom, and we both called him together and stuff. And he was like, dude, you guys stop it. Don't make fun of me, because that was a gimmick condom and everything. That was a gag condom. And so, because she was calling him after they stopped seeing each other, and he said, because she likes the, I call it the Montana diet. Tony Montana?
Ah, yeah.
Montana diet, when you do a lot of blow. So... we would laugh at him, make jokes, and told Michelle the story and stuff. And so I guess he didn't like. But I wasn't going on radio show. I only said it kind of during a Vixen thing.
Right.
And he got so upset about that he went around telling everyone it wasn't true. And then he would start telling people that I was the worst sex. After it wasn't true, then I was the worst sex he ever had. So. He ranks down there. God, he doesn't even rank below Val Venus. At least Val Venus, did it for 2 seconds. But him, even Jim Kelly had an orgasm.
Right.
It was just from kissing, but, still. I don't get it. But now I do get it.
You mean Jim?
Something I always known, especially when I saw him. And he would email me. He has a wall in his house with just all these wrestling belts on it. He's like a belt mark.
Uh-huh.
And, he would send me these cheesy pictures of him, and it looked like it should be on Blue Boy, the gay magazine.
Uh-huh.
Because the pictures looked so gay. Then he started sending me pictures of his gimmick with the fairy wings on it.
Right.
And I was just like, he's so gay. It didn't anyone figures it out,
Well,
so that's all I know. And then when I found out that FBI did this thing on him, and I'm like, God, they're friggin' 3 days late and $1 short on that one. He had a roommate that was, 17 years old?
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember.
16 years old? Well, I know in some states it's legal because personally, me, I do like younger men. So anytime I'm in a state, I do check the laws. Some laws it's 16, some 17, some 18. So you got to be careful.
Mm.
But I think in Pennsylvania, having sex with a 16-year-old, and especially if it's a man, I think that's called not sexual battery, but sexual deviancy.
Yeah, something like that. And plus, you got to be careful. Also,
I think it's called not child molestation, but it's called endangering a child. It could be child molestation too.
What about statutory rape, though? Is that something you would worry about?
Yeah, it's statutory rape too, but since it's man and man, you know, and he lured the child. We shouldn't call them child, but they are under the age of consent, so it would be not a child, but what do you call them?
Minor.
Minor. And it's something like having sex with a minor.
Mm-hmm.
Having what's it called when you do it in the butt? Sodomy. Sodomy, and that in some states is against the law. So basically, if he sodomized, an underage person, they could get him for all kinds of stuff. Then his name is on the registry as being a sexual deviant and a child or a minor, and that he likes boys. And most people, when they find out in a neighborhood that you are a child molester, they usually have you thrown out of the neighborhood. And if you don't register with the people, with the state and the county that you are a convicted, fanny pirate on a child, sexual deviant, I don't know. We'll have to look all that up. That's something that you guys need to do some research in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if a fanny pirate goes after a young child or lives with And we got to check out Pennsylvania, the age of consent and stuff. But supposedly the boy that he was going after was 14 years old. Now that I can tell you is a minor.
Right. I think the youngest that goes is 16.
And he was propositioning the minor because some of the emails was, I want to F you really bad, and when I get a hold of you, ooh, it's going to be so good. So that is solicitation to have sex with a minor and sodomy. And that since it's male on male, then I think it's called deviant. So why don't you guys look that up for me?
Absolutely.
All you got to do is, because when I was in pre-law, I know every state has their thing. You just, go to the state of Pennsylvania,
right.
And then you go to the bar, the law page, and you can look up, type anything you want in there. You can say sex with a minor, male on male, sex with a minor, so stuff like that, and you can see all those statutes and what they're going to be probably charging him with.
Excellent. Before we let you go, I have a couple questions for you. I was looking on we're looking at Amazon.com, and there's a new Vixens. First,
nothing to do with me. They're being shut down.
I guess you won't be on there then?
If they do have me on it, they're going to get sued really bad because my ex-business partner stole over $500,000 from me and Tammy on the Vixen site. He was selling the Vixens DVDs to High Spots videos, so anybody on High Spots, anybody don't buy from High Spots, it's stolen merchandise. And he was selling them on the side and having the checks made out to him to his home address when one of the first checks was made out to our company, and to our company address. So basically Sal, Sal Taliban Hamoya, the guy down here in Tampa trying to run those full impact shows.
Right.
He, he's a sleazy dirtbag. But those new ones, any ones that they sell, like I already got them all off eBay. But if they're on Amazon now I get to call Amazon and have my attorney call Amazon. And
they are on Amazon. My friend just bought it, and he was asking me about it. And that's why I decided to. I said, I don't know if
everyone don't buy that crap. It's unlicensed. It's illegal. It's like a Rob Feinstein friggin'. You taped it off the TV and you're selling it.
Right. And one other question is, what is the update on MissyHyatt.tv?
Well, we had to do some stuff around because I wanted Francine more into it.
Right.
Instead of just Missy Hyatt and Friends.
Mm-hmm.
So they're changing the site this week. CC Bill's we have to send it over to CC Bill. $9.99 a month. Once CC Bill says it's okay, everything's uploaded. Pictures. We did our first photo shoot. We also have candid pictures. They're getting up, because since this is my project and I don't have anybody to fight with about stuff, and I'm I was the president of the other company too, but that didn't mean crap. But now, I'm the one that writes the checks and does everything, and basically the people, they're working for me and they don't get their money, they're 15% unless they do what I say. So, it's been a slow start getting everything done because I want to change stuff, and now I really need we were even going to change the name to Missy Hyatt and Francine Exposed.com.
Right.
But it's kind of long. So I think we're going to, I don't know what we're going to do yet for the name, but it's still going to be for now MissyHyatt.tv, and once CC Bill okays it, everyone will be getting to go on there, get a free tour, check it out, because the tape that I did yesterday in Daytona for Bike Week was the most awesome footage we got. We got over 60 minutes of it. And then ABC Television started following me and the camera.
Wow.
Because I stirred up so much commotion and people were wanting to take my pictures with me. And to be honest with you, they didn't even know that I was Missy Hyatt. And I forgot to hand out cards. They were just wanting pictures with me because, I was dressed and the way I looked. But not that I'm trying to put myself over, but I look better now than I did in 1985. Plus I was wearing short booty shorts and Chuck Zito T-shirt that had been all ripped up. So, who knows? But in my long, beautiful hair, my two big, beautiful blue eyes, They were wanting pictures, and I mean, I had never in my life had more pictures taken of me, even if I worked a friggin' sold-out Omni or Nassau Coliseum show.
Right.
Never in my life have I had more pictures taken of me, and more people wanting a picture with me. So basically, right now I'm still on the high from my ego from that.
Excellent, excellent.
And hey, that'll last at least. That'll give me it. That'll keep up my ego for at least a month.
Excellent, excellent. Well, when everything is up with MissyHyatt.tv, we'll of course promote it the best we can on the show, and
definitely promote it. Call me back. We can do another plug. You guys can ask me questions, and if you're really, really, really nice, we can either give away like a free pass for a month.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I'll do something like that with you guys. You know, you can do like a winner of a trivia thing. They get, free 30 days in MissyHyatt.tv.
Excellent. That's really a great prize, and everybody, we actually are going to start doing trivia contests starting soon, so maybe that can be one of the prizes.
There can be trivia, but the trivia has to be about me, of course.
Oh, okay.
Francine.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Trivia about me and Francine, and then if they get it right, they get like a 30-day free membership.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's all. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for more from the interactive interview. And welcome back to the Ring of Honor Controversy edition of the interactive interview. This is James and Dan now, and we're going to discuss the situation.
Well, of course, if you're listening to the show from A to B, point A being, of course, the beginning and point B being now, you will know that we put across the points of the topic and the points of the situation in a very deliberate order. Of course, we gave across the points of Ring of Honor, England Gabe, first of all. Then, of course, we gave across the points of an outsider who has, obviously a huge amount of information on the wrestling business and many other channels, should we say, in Bob Barnett. And then, of course, we brought on Missy Hyatt just because she's been on the show before and spoken about Rob, and she's an entertaining guest, so she's come on to speak about that. Obviously, people will have heard us, laughing along to Missy Hyatt, and obviously being serious and understanding Gabe. I don't want you to think of it as us, trivializing the situation and laughing at Missy because she's being funny and making jokes. Take the Missy Hyatt interview out of context, just the fact that we was laughing at the fact she was being a funny person, not laughing at the situation, not laughing at the fact that obviously, pedophilia or homosexuality or anything of the sorts, not those sorts of situations. We're not laughing and trivializing those.
Obviously, pedophilia.
Is what I want to say. So.
Pedophilia and anything involving children that are not of the age of consent is not something either James, me, James, I'm speaking in the third person now, or Daniel, consider funny. It's wrong, and I would never be involved in such an action, and I would never get humor in such an action because in reality these kids are going through a hell of a lot, and I kind of don't know what to say about Rob right now. I mean, the first initial reaction was, I've seen people call him Fagstein, and I've seen people on this show call him Fagstein. I've seen people describe him as what a fag and all these, gay slurs and all these things like that, but it's not just about that. And that's one thing I want to point out. I am not gay. I am violently heterosexual. But,
that also could be taken the wrong way, James.
Yeah, well,
violently.
Yes, I'm heterosexual, but I have to rape my victims. No, that's not the truth. I'm just kidding. I'm just saying that I'm heterosexual. I like girls. And the thing I'm saying about that is, I can understand the ideas of a gay man, and I can understand that some people have different values in terms of sexual preference. I personally am straight. Some people are not. But this has nothing to do with sexual preference. The real reality of the situation is the fact that the person was a minor. And
at least in Rob's mind it was, because of course, obviously it wasn't in real life, but, in the situation, the person portrayed was a minor, is what you mean, yeah. Yeah. But, it's terribly unfortunate, and, I mean, putting aside, obviously, the fact that, he seemed to have a bit of a conscience, because by the end of the the conversation he was saying, look, I can't, I'm not going to meet you, etc., etc. You're not 18, you're not old enough, yada yada. He had a slight bit of a conscience, but I mean, put that completely aside. The poor guy has been, obviously a couple of, as he said, a couple of friends knew that he was homosexual, but on the whole, I mean, people, casual fans of Ring of Honor, maybe you may have picked up a DVD or something, or just casual like people in his neighbourhood, probably wouldn't have known, that he was gay, and that is a horrible way to be forced out of the closet.
Well, it really is depending on how people react to such things. When I hear, homosexual, it really doesn't bother me in terms of wrestling unless this person's going to be... I mean, it might bother me if I was going to be rolling around the ring with the person, I will be completely honest with you. I mean, let's say I'm about to have a match with somebody and they just blurt out before I go to the ring, and they say, oh, by the way, I'm gay. If they start to do a go-behind on me, I'm going to be like, get off me! But, other than that, it doesn't really bother me. I've never really been deterred by such a thing. I am, as I said, heterosexual. I mean, that's one thing I want to keep out there. Because I had said jokingly on the Steve Carino interview, and this I found funny. I had made like a joke, a little goofy joke, and the reaction I got was like, and I had started to say something about Feinstein, and I said maybe I shouldn't say that because I don't want to burn a bridge. But I started to laugh, and I started laughing out of nowhere. And you were like, and there's James laughing out of context once again. But I had something that I wanted to say about Feinstein being gay. And I said, I'm not the homosexual of wrestling. And then I said, no, I'm not right. I started to say, I'm not Rob Feinstein, and then I started laughing. But that's...
No idea what you're going with here.
You don't recall this incident, do you?
No, I recall it, but I just don't know where you're going with it on this particular,
All I'm trying to say is, everybody's making the bigger deal that he was a homosexual. Well, that's not the issue. That's really not the issue, the fact that he was gay. It's the fact that it was with a minor. That's the disgusting thing. There's been gay people. I mean, Bob Barnett was on the show. There was a guy named Jim Barnett a long time ago. Used to be a promoter, worked for NWA. He's the guy that always says, my boy. He touched people on the shoulder and said, my boy, you got to do this. I mean, he was obviously a homosexual, and nobody seemed to... Pat Patterson is a homosexual.
Yeah.
Nobody seems to care.
No, they make quite a lot of jokes out of it on television, and he's ripped about it, because, of course, he's from, where was he crowned as the IC champion? Was it Rio? Was it Rio?
Rio, maybe.
So they put in, when they say, like, obviously that tournament that never actually happened, and he was made the IC Intercontinental Champion for the very first time, etc., etc. But of course, that's a rib on him, because Rio is
Tinkerbell Town.
Yeah. So but that's a rib on him. And of course, they say now and again, they say, like, Pat's in the ring, he's available, guys, and stuff like that. I mean, it's ribs and it's jokes. It's not meant to, not offensive in any way, but. I had to, one thing also I want to make clear is appreciate Gabe coming on, and of course Rob is nothing anymore to do with Ring of Honor. So while this is obviously a Ring of Honor / Rob Feinstein show, just now let us make it clear that he is completely detached from Ring of Honor and RF Video. I assume that obviously RF Video will now soon enough be renamed, because of course RF is standing for Rob Feinstein.
Well, they can change it to be Ric Flair Video.
Just bring in loads and loads of collectibles to Ric Flair matches.
Yep, that'll work.
Of course, your say will be all the same match over and over again, but so we haven't got that one in there before you even could.
Ah, yes, I wasn't actually going to go there, but thank you.
That's okay, not a problem. But,
okay.
So that's the situation as it is currently. Of course, Gabe mentioning that the documents will be out very soon. Bob will no doubt have another column on his website, bobbarnett.com, about when the documents come out, because I still don't assume that Bob believes that he's no longer part of our video and Ring of Honor. And of course, pervertedjustice.com have said that they'll continue harassing, for lack of a better word, ROH and our video until it is proven that Rob's no longer part of the company. So hopefully, as soon as these documents are produced, or whatever's produced on the internet, then hopefully, with luck, the good name of Ring of Honor will be clear once again. And Gabe and the backers and Doug and whoever is involved, and all the wrestlers can carry on and have a wicked excellent show this weekend coming up the day before WrestleMania, the Rexplex.
My God, we just said wicked excellent on the show.
I did, didn't I?
Very impressive.
Wicked excellent, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Bill and Ted all over.
Bill and Ted. Wicked excellent, man.
Yeah, dude.
That's actually a great movie. And actually, I wanted to say this about Ring of Honor. I've seen some of the tapes.
Mm-hmm.
I am hot and cold on some of the product, to be perfectly honest with you.
Right.
And this is obviously has nothing to do with Rob Feinstein. I'm just going to talk about, the show themselves.
Yeah.
I am not a fan of having 10 matches and 9 of them be guys flipping all over the place. There has to be a little bit more of a balance for me.
Right.
Raven made the statement that, you can't have the same matches all the time. You have to have some sort of a difference.
And then, of course, Stone Cold made the statement that, of course, the backflips and such never made people rich.
And he's right. I mean, the only person... how many people really get over based on doing, backflips and all these flippy-dip moves? I mean, a lot of them stay at the beginning of the card because they're not wrestling, they're not using the proper psychology. I could see AJ Styles making it to the top based on what he does. But AJ has a better perspective on what psychology is.
Yeah, agreed. Like AJ Styles, and of course, I'd put Rey Mysterio in that bracket as well.
I'm not sure about Rey. I used to think so.
Yeah.
I used to think so, but I have not seen Rey do a match over 5 minutes in a long time.
Yeah. I mean, come on. In the WWE, everything's very structured. Everything's kind of set up by the people backstage, and the guys go out and perform it. So him not having a match over 5 minutes really isn't going to be his fault. I don't.
It isn't his fault, but I'm just saying I don't know that he can do it anymore. I'd like to see it if he can. I would like to see what would happen. I remember the old WCW Cruiserweight matches. You used to have Billy Kidman against Juventud Guerrera go 20 minutes, and it freaking was awesome.
Yeah.
I'd sit there and watch those matches, and at the end of the match, they get up and the crowd was going crazy.
Yeah.
And WCW made a mistake in, when they saw they were getting too over, they kind of cut them. So that was like, okay, you're done. So, okay. All right, you got...
Well, I don't want you anymore.
Yeah, you're doing well. Yeah, go away. It's like the worst thing that people can do, and this is what I'm trying to think of in my head when I'm thinking about TNA currently, is when you have the fans enjoying something, why is your first impulse to take it away from them? And the reason I said that about TNA is I recently was considering writing an article about the Insane Clown Posse. Ultimately, I think it's time they go bye-bye. Because, they're on there, and I guess they're over for what they are, and I think if they were just only being chanted for while they were out there, that'd be grand. But the fact is, people are out there like Jerry Lynn, and, if you watch the last America's X Cup, the first one, the fans were chanting ICP during the Juventud Guerrera Jerry Lynn encounter. You got Jerry Lynn, in my opinion, the best worker in the business today, against Juventud Guerrera, who has consistently been one of the better workers in the business. And the crowd is chanting ICP. I think that really subtracts because the stupid rednecks just don't know what the hell they're talking about anymore. And I think, in a way, it would be a better idea if they did get away from it for a little while. Maybe...
as you say, it's crowd participation, so it's good. And of course, now and then, I've seen an episode where Mike Tenay kind of acknowledged it and said, there we go, the Juggalos in the crowd chanting ICP. And of course, I think it was Johnny Fairplay who... made a snide comment back at the crowd.
Yeah, he's like, I'm definitely bigger than those guys.
Yeah.
Right, but that was like the only person that ever made that, and AJ Styles once did it too. AJ Styles, he said, and the Juggalos, but, that doesn't really matter to me. These fans should not be chanting ICP in a match where they're not involved. And, they want to do that for any wrestler, and the fact is that they want to do that for a reason. I mean, even when Hulk Hogan was the hottest thing going, they weren't chanting Hogan or anything. The only time that they really did that was chanting Goldberg, but Goldberg was a legitimate wrestler.
And even what, that now and again, that was the biggest thing in WWE for a little while. Everyone's saying what and during everything, but that was only happening during main eventers who were working with Austin, such as Kurt Angle. He'll do a promo and then it'd be like what every time. But that again, it was still only limited to things that related because Jerry Lynn and Juventud Guerrera are completely as far away storyline in the American X Cups and stuff as you can get from bunkhouse brawls or whatever with Glenn Gilberti and stuff. So.
Right, and they're not wrestlers. This is my point. They're not wrestlers. They're not going to give you a match that, for example, Goldberg will give you. And I know I'm going to get heat for saying that, but Goldberg has that intangible something that works.
And he's been trained.
Right.
Obviously, another bonus. But...
Yeah, well, ICP, yeah, they can bump all right. They can bump around pretty good, and, the fans, obviously, for whatever reason, like their style or their music or whatever. I personally don't, but that has nothing to do with why I don't like it. I don't think that the fans should be chanting those letters, ICP, during a match that has absolutely nothing to do with its story-wise or fixture-wise.
Agreed. I even noticed that myself, and I only catch TNA now and again, thanks to, Mr. Corleone sending in tapes
right.
and stuff. And big thanks out to you. You sent a couple more, and I'll be checking them out and hopefully reviewing them on a show in the future. Not the next show, but possibly the show after, I imagine. The next show will obviously be a WWE-related, anniversary-related show, so
yes,
probably wouldn't be applicable in that domain, but I'll definitely go do that and review those tapes for you as requested. But
I just want to do one quick thing before we end this show.
Mm-hmm.
Shane Cooper, Creed fan from the forums, sent me a tape of WLW.
Uh-huh.
First of all, cheers to him because that was, he sent me the original tape, which I thought was incredible. It's really cool. I started watching this tape, and, the first thing you see is Harley racing the ring, and the people eat out of this guy's hands. I mean, there's a crowd of probably, maybe about 300 there. Not a huge crowd, but a decent crowd. And they're going nuts, and, Harley picks up the mic, and everybody's quiet. Let's listen to what he has to say. And I'm watching these matches. These matches are pretty good. These guys are good. It's just wrestling. It's not, stupid stories. It's just wrestling. I like it. I like it a lot. Some of the guys do flips. Some of them, they keep it to, superplexes being the high spots. I mean, this is pretty good stuff. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought a lot of these guys could have a future because they're learning psychology.
Yeah.
And I have to assume Harley's behind some of it.
I'd imagine so, yeah. Because, of course, with him being the owner and whatnot, I'm imagining he probably helps. If not with the training, obviously. I mean, just being around a guy like Harley will obviously improve your knowledge of the business in general. I mean, as a lot of people say about being around Dusty Rhodes.
I mean, it's great when you see things like this, though, like with the young guys. You get a guy knocks the guy out with his finisher, puts his arm over him, 1, 2, oops, the guy's got his foot on the rope.
Yeah.
That's like, whoa, his shoulders were down, but he's got a foot on the rope, whoa. Or, both guys are knocked out, the referee counts to 9, and then somebody spurts up. That's just perfect, psychology, and nobody wants to lay there anymore. I mean, that's legitimacy of the business right now. Nobody wants to lay down because they think laying down makes you look weak. No, it means you're working the crowd.
You should get trained, James.
I really wish I could. I should. And I think one day, whenever I'm finished with college, which will probably be about 80, I'm going to go to a wrestling school, not to become a wrestler, just because I think there should be legitimacy in wrestling journalism. I think if somebody's going to actually sit there and say, this guy sucks or whatever, I think they should have the backbone enough to say, I went through training and I know this and I know that. I don't think, right now I'm doing good articles, I think. But I think at the same rate, I could see somebody saying, well, who the hell are you? And then having a point.
Yeah. I understand. I mean, I obviously considered going along to a couple of training schools, but just never really, had the desire, because I know that I'd never go into the business actively because I don't like the travel side of it. So, as someone said, I think I read today about because the rumor about Brock Lesnar not liking the travel, buying his own plane and stuff, like someone said today, if you don't like the travel side of things, don't join the business, because guys like the example was the Red, American Red, Amazing Red, and the SATs, often travel 12+ hours just to go to one event
on a bus.
Exactly. Don't like travel? Get out.
I mean, I don't like to travel either, and that's probably why. That plus the fact that I don't want to get bashed up. I mean, there's no reason for me to be in the business and find myself with a broken leg and then not be able to do anything for however many months. I mean, I like to do my things. I like to get things done. I mean, I've just started up Tai Chi. Well, considering starting it up anyway. I'm trying to get involved in some of these things because I figured out a couple weeks ago, that if I do not start doing something to mellow out, my freaking head's going to explode by the time I'm 30. So I need something to mellow out a little bit. Right.
Jesus. But, right, yeah, we probably should wrap this up and, of course, explain our next show, because our next show is the WrestleMania show, and it's the anniversary show.
It's really not the anniversary show anymore, though.
No, it's kind of
our 13-month anniversary, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's 9-month anniversary show. We're not scared by the number 13.
Right. So it's going to have the franchise, Shane Douglas, jackass.
Sorry, missed it.
You missed it.
Yeah, but we've been promoting this for like a month now, and it's been completed for months, and sitting there for months, and we've been waiting for the right time, and we figured, well, okay, when's the busiest time of the year on the internet? For wrestling, that is.
Right.
WrestleMania. And what's the biggest event that's been hyped by WWE for a long time? In fact, spending the most on advertising ever. That'll be WrestleMania 20. So, well, where do we want our most prestigious, long, well-hyped, well-advertised, anticipated interview? When do we want that? That makes sense. So, our 2-in-1 anniversary WrestleMania 20 show, hopefully up on this coming Saturday.
Excellent. Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to have Shane Douglas on there. We might have a few surprise guests for you.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about WrestleMania, hype it. We're going to hype it the best we can. I'm going to give you my views, which are not positive. Also, I'm going to post an article up on ProWrestling.com. It's already been posted on 3SWforums.com. And let the fans debate it. Let them see if there's any good responses. And by the way, cheers to RSBH123. Is that what it is?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, cheers to him, because he wrote a very long and very detailed review of the history of WrestleMania and what matches worked and what matches didn't. I agree with most of what he said, so, I mean, it was pretty good. So check that out. Yeah, check it out in the thread that says Up for Debate.
Mm-hmm. And we'll soon be on the Pro Wrestling Forums. If not, it'll be on the
3SW Forums.
Yep. Can't even remember my own forum names.
Right.
That's great, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's about all from the special Ring of Honor edition of the show. Hopefully you enjoyed this. It's not our regular format, and it's not it's not going to be something you're going to see every week. But along with, of course, our last interview with April Hunter, something a tiny bit different.
I wish people would go listen to this. I wish people would go in and listen to April Hunter, because I just thought that was a really fun interview.
It really was. If you're listening to this one and either haven't listened to the shows before, or you haven't listened to maybe just the April Hunter interview, really, some of the interviews we promote, and we promote well. But if we really think an interview's good, then we'll talk about it a lot in these recaps, because we'll having enjoyed done it, having enjoyed putting it online. We'll talk about it, but that's a good meter stick.
Right.
To see whether an interview's good in our opinion. The people who conducted it is checking out what we talk about in the recaps, and we really actually do mean it when we say check it out. It's different. It's not the regular TII. If you like the regular style TII, going through from A to D, anal retentive, as James likes to call it, question to question to question, getting good answers from people, then this isn't the same type of interview. You may dislike it. That's fine. It's not the sort of thing we're going to do every week like this. We say like every week.
Right.
It's not going to be a new style we're foraying into, but it's something a little bit different, and you may well enjoy it.
And you may not. I mean, it's up to you, but I want you to hear it and make your own decision, because I think we were just more relaxed and not as, oh my God, Dan, I lost my place, take the next one, that kind of thing. It's kind of like I laid on my back during the interview and conducted it, and I got up when she said AprilHunter.com and was looking at a picture gallery of her, so it's a fun interview, so check it out.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much for listening to this show. Check out our archive section on the interactiveinterview.com for our past interviews with, of course, many other ROH superstars. Of course, on the show before, we've had the controversial Teddy Hart. He's been on twice. We have, of course, the Pure Wrestling Champion, AJ Styles, been on the show. Doug Williams, one of the UK imports across to Ring of Honor's been on the show. Steve Corino, a whole list of other guys. Teddy Hart twice, of course, as I said. BG James, Korean, obviously not Ring of Honor guys, but Yeah, Bruno Sammartino, legends.
Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Exactly, and of course, the man who is making his managerial return in ROH as at the current moment, Bobby the Brain Heenan.
All right.
But many other interviews, all available for you to gander at and listen to at your own convenience on theinteractiveinterview.com in the archive section, which can be, of course, accessed very easily from the navigation bar on the right side of the site.
You want to click guests, and that should bring it up for you.
Yes. Or you can click, I've now changed it, that you can now, where it used to say home, forums, then shows, but I've changed it now to say archives.
Excellent.
Actually, a direct link to the archives there.
So that's actually a good idea.
I thought it was, because people have been saying, you say you have so-and-so on the show, but you don't, because down the side of it, of course, it gets there's a little link which shows the archives of the most recent shows.
Click the link that says full links if you do that.
Yeah.
Or full
list, yeah.
Full list, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And there's future interviews coming up. If you want to bookmark the site and, listen to us every week, we're up once or twice a week, you can listen to, coming up soon, hopefully, Easy Money, Shane Douglas obviously next, Marty Giannetti, Johnny Swinger is going to go up soon, hopefully Kevin Sullivan, maybe a little bit of Chris Jericho coming up in the future, and possibly Kurt Angle.
Right.
But those will be in the next couple of months. We appreciate listening to this show. This has been the interactive interview with Ring of Honor and Rob Firestone.
If you enjoyed what you just heard, please click the like button and the notifications bell. And consider subscribing. It really helps. Thank you.